Yeah, same thing. Like he's just has a really high IQ. Like I said, like just like a lot of the guys, really easy to play with, and just feeding off of each other opens up the game.
Just want to get both of your guys' input on this, but Jake brings a lot of energy out there tonight, especially what, especially those two blocks that he had, one in each half. How did that kind of energize you guys tonight?
Yeah, those plays always bring energy. Those like hard-nosed plays. When they read that stat line though, with 6 steals, 4 blocks, I think that's just like that's a crazy stat line right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said to him, those weren't blocks. Those were blocks. Those
Mm.
were blocks. Those were loud. So it was cool.
Yeah, really just gets our team going. Like more winning plays like that. Like I feel like I get to go on more than just a simple basket. Like that really turns us up.
Well, proud of our guys. Loved our effort. Thought we really defended hard. These guys, I know, they didn't have the result they wanted the other night against BYU, and certainly not tonight. But I respect that coach. I don't know him, but watching his teams from a year ago, it's hard. It's very hard to go from, an NAI coach or a D2 coach or whatever to make that jump. You got to know your stuff. It's a hard jump to make, to get there. And so you watch his teams. That dude is used to winning. I know they're gonna have a good year. They're very young, of course, but I loved how connected we were on both ends of the floor, but especially defensively. The first half specifically, number 32 for them, who was a big time high school scorer. He's held to 0 points in the first half, but he got loose for 15 in the second half, which tells you he is a good player. He's gonna be very good player. But Cato is number 25 for them, who's really a guy. He had 21 the other night. At 6'8", 6'9", he can do a lot of stuff. I think he averaged 16 a game a year ago, or 14. And Jake Wallin was the primary. He did an unbelievable job making life really, really hard for him. Only had 6 field goal attempts. So of course it's a team effort, but your primary defender's got to, be really good. And they run some tricky stuff that's hard to guard. That we obviously it's early on in the year haven't seen much of. So I credit our guys as a team. Over the last 2 days, there were some long prep days in there over the last 2 days, and our guys had great concentration and accountability, and I thought did an excellent job defending them in the half court. I've never seen a game, or I've never been a part of a game where there's 93s attempted. We shoot 50 of our 65. And I think in the first half, 25 of our 32 shots from the three. Not necessarily by design, but we do have very good shooters on this team, and we had a lot of clean looks. And what did you shoot? 38% from the three. 38%. It's a good number, and honestly, we didn't even shoot it like great. So we missed a lot of open looks, but 23 assists for the night on 13 turnovers. Got a little bit sloppy there for a stretch, but. Good team win. These guys were a dangerous team, and I'm proud of how we performed, and it'll be good to have an off day tomorrow and 3 days of prep for next Tuesday's game.
Just want to go back to those 3-pointers. For the second time, you get 19 to fall down. Obviously, that's not going to happen every game, but, just how does that kind of free open that offense, especially, this early in the year with so many new guys?
Yeah, we recruited to that, not just shooting. Like, you got to have great decision makers. A lot of the reasons we're getting some of these open threes is just our decision making and our ability to play off the ball. Of course, our selflessness, at this juncture. And I just think we have a lot of area to grow that way. But feels like the pieces really fit. A little bit right now maybe is some of our small ball, right? We're without our 3 centers. It's just, right? It's just how it is. I'm proud of how we've been able to adapt and adjust to get through these 2 games when we've had basically 1 day of prep with the team we're playing with, right? That's just the facts. So the ability to adapt and adjust, but it also lends to our style of play. So, I know there was a few quick ones in there, and then late, I think they knew the number and they were trying to cast it up, and it gets like that. But I thought we had a lot of rhythm looks, a lot of really clean looks. I thought we even passed up quite a few of them in the first half. Gabe for sure passed up 2 to try to take it off the bounce to create an easy one, and that tells you a lot about Gabe. Mike passed up a couple. Hunter passed up 1 or 2. We passed up a few of them. But you take what the defense gives you. They were mixing it up between man and zone. They're stunting hard into the gaps, and you're going to get some standstill threes, and we have a lot of good shooters. So that number is astounding. Like I said, I'm not sure I've ever seen anything like it, but when you look at like the effective field goal percentage, it's going to look really good.
Craig, it's only 2 games, and obviously the competition isn't what you're going to face later on in conference play and stuff like that. But are there things that you're seeing from your team now that carry on regardless of the opponent? Like, what are you seeing as successes that will carry forward?
Well, I think it starts with, first of all, I am looking forward to getting Lawson back. Hopefully, I don't know if he'll be back on Tuesday or not. We'll see. And then Zach, of course, Zach will be, he'll be out indefinitely until but I just don't know when. So we'll look a little bit different with those 2 guys, of course. We got to be, just sheer size. We know how this is going to go, and you play Mississippi State and get into Big 12 play. But the things I like, it feels like we're very connected on both sides. And our voices, we're not where we need to be, but we've clearly started communicating at a much higher level as a team. We have some individual guys that communicate well, but as a team, we're starting to figure it out. But the connectivity defensively has to be your communication. It has to be the connectedness, right, with our transition defense. And if we're doubling the post, like today we doubled the post for the first time, and I thought we did a good job with it. I thought it really affected them and got them off attack. And then on the offensive end, when you have 29 assists and 23 assists, like that's – selfless play, and I thought we played really, really connected. We had a couple stretches I wasn't really happy. I thought we had a couple times we could have went one more, and it was wide open, and we didn't quite see that. And so that's what. And then the willingness to learn. We showed every offensive rebound that Elkhorn had the other night. Some of them were a little flukish, shoot an air ball off balance, it hits the rim like in a crazy way. But we showed them all, and I thought our attention to detail and just a mindset yesterday in practice specifically and today was way, way better, right? So this team as a whole seems like they truly have an attitude that craves improvement. Now, there hasn't been, we've been able to really kind of get momentum, and there hasn't been a ton of resistance. So, like, we all know how that goes. When that starts happening, how do we respond and how do we react? But they do it well in practice. And usually when you do it in practice, it translates to a game. If you don't, it translates to a game.
Craig Gabe scored 1,000 points tonight, joined the 1,000-point club. He didn't score 1,000 points tonight. Sorry, let me rephrase. He joined the 1,000-point club tonight. How big of an accomplishment is that for him in your eyes, and what does that mean to you? Yeah,
as the head coach here, I'm super proud of Gabe. He was the first guy to recruit to us, he was the first guy to make a commitment to us when we got hired. When he transferred, he opted out of Cincinnati. He just, I love how he plays the game. He plays the game the right way. All he cares about is winning. It's all he cares about. If you looked at his body when he first got here 4 years ago to where he is now, can't even explain it. He loves the running Utes and with every fiber in his body. And then just like I'm sure there's people that work as hard as him. I'm not sure I don't know, like if you're going to outwork that guy, like that says something about you, because he's in here every morning getting however many shots up. He's elite in the weight room. He's amazing at taking care of his body. And every guy in that locker room would tell you they love to play with him because he's so selfless. He's caring, and he just he's super driven that way. So he has the ultimate respect of everybody in our program, and really, really proud of him.
Another question. Keanu Dawes, just 2 games in, he just finds a way to impact the game. Just could you describe what he brings to the floor for you guys?
Yeah, I thought the second half the other night he was really good. And then tonight he just played with way more, like when he plays with the force that he played with the second half the other night and the way he played all night tonight. It's not often I read individual stat lines. Of course, we recognize Gabe in the locker room after the game and Gabe, like Gabe said, it's all about your teammates. You can't do it alone. But the 2 guys I really talked about in front of our team, and I should have talked about a third as well, but KD, yeah, you know what? He's 1 for 6 from the field. Big deal, right? I mean, he had a couple go down and out. Like he played, but got to the line 6 times. That's awesome to see. But obviously, the 11 rebounds really stands out. 4 of them offensively, and then has 5 assists with 2 block shots. He can just do a lot of things out there, and you got to account for him. He made one of his 5 assists. I think it was rebound, outlet to a guard. They cross-scored it. KD catches it, and boom, one more to the left, kind of semi-corner for Jake. Boom, drills a 3. Just makes a lot of winning plays, and when he plays with that kind of force, and when he communicates like KD can be a quiet guy, but now he's figuring out his voice on the floor, and it really matters. But there's not much that he can't do out there. And then the other 2, and I know you didn't ask about this though, is Jake Walling. Those 2 sophomores were really, really good tonight. Jake, the primary assignment on Cato, right, is 3 for 3 from the field, 2 for 2 from the 3 rebounds, 6 blocks, 6 steals and 4 blocks. Pretty impressive, plus 37. And then Mike had a big time, didn't shoot it as well as he's capable of, right? But I mean, we all know like he can get buckets. But 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 13 points, 3 steals. So you look at those 3 guys, those are complete. They impacted the game in so many ways. They're complete players, and that's exciting to see.
Speaking of Mike, it seems like he has just this constant motor when he's out on the floor. How do you see that translating to helping the other 4 that are out there with him?
Yeah, Mike just, I asked Gabe this summer, because we only get 8 hours with our guys over the summer, and they, 4 in the weight room, basically 4 on the floor. A lot of individual stuff, a little bit of team, especially the first half of the summer, more individual than team. So they play a lot of pickup ball together, right? They just get together, go play. We can't watch that. And I just asked Gabe who do you like playing with? And oh my gosh, Mike is so easy to play with. And I think you can feel that out on the floor. Like he just is smooth and just gets out there, and he's legit 6'8", 6'9", so he can see over the defense, high IQ, just makes the game really simple for people. He just does, and some guys just do that. I'm really proud of how he's guarding. Like he's getting way better on the defensive end. Covers up a lot of space. He can guard 1, 2, 3, and even some 4s, right, with his length and his size. So again, you talk about Mike, you talk about KD, you talk about Jake. There's a lot of versatility that way, but there is with our team. Gabe's 6'6", Mason 6'5", Miro 6'4" with a +6 wingspan. So it gives you the ability to do a lot more things on that end of the floor. But Mike does. He never looks tired, and he's always looking at me like, "Are you going to put me back in?" Of course, I got about 4 of those guys right now. But the other part, last thing, is just he's so versatile. You can play him at the point, play him at 2, 3, doesn't matter. He just knows what to do and makes the right play.
Gabe's obviously been your sharpshooter for a long time. That's been there. But how beneficial is it that when you sub him out, you literally put his clone in, and he's the exact type of player? I mean, what? They're a twin? I know. But, how beneficial is that as a coach, knowing that you don't really lose a lot of what Gabe does when you can bring Mason in?
Well, it's 2 years ago, we were in such a great spot to make the tournament. When he went down, you could just feel that our offensive production just went, right? And, because you just always have to account for Gabe. I mean, 31 against Iowa, 27 or 29 against Houston, hard to do, whatever he had the other night. And so it does. It makes the depth that we have, the ability to stretch the floor this year from a lot of different guys. But we all saw he can get it going. And I don't know, what do you shoot tonight? 5 for 12 from the 3, which is a good number, but he would tell you he didn't shoot it very well tonight. So to be able to have that, and then depending on who you're playing, and when you can put them both on the floor together, now you can really stretch them out, and now it allows your playmakers to get to the rim more. And so it's great to have those 2 guys have great synergy. They're super connected, and you can just feel both those guys on the floor and their presence, and then they just want to win, right? That's the bottom line. And so it is nice to have those kind of weapons for sure.